Reverend Steve, keeping it simple. We're going to be in Luke 21. We're going to be in verse 23. And we're discussing about how these prophecies that Jesus is discussing with his disciples. Remember, they take him on the side and they ask him these questions. And they're directed questions. And it's not just for their time. They ask, when is the end of the age? Which Jesus tells them in these scriptures. And that's why we have to open our minds and our understanding and understand this is a long period of time. Some of it is directed like this whole piece of scripture is directed to 70 AD when Rome sacked Jerusalem. But there's other parts of this that are directed to us today. And that's how we have to, that's the best way to understand this. And we have to bounce back and forth because a lot of teachers, what they do, they take this as, oh, this is going to happen again. No, Jerusalem was sacked and the temple was destroyed. And there's nowhere in here it talks about the temple being, I've been talking about false teachings, temple being rebuilt. There's no scripture that talks about a third temple. The only other temple there is in heaven. That's it. And it comes down at the end. There's no other temple talked about being built. The only other temple that's talked about in the scriptures in the New Testament that's being built is the one in us. That's the only one. That's a great revelation if you really want to dig deep into that. So we have to understand that Jesus is telling us, he said, not one stone will be left upon another that will not be thrown down. He didn't say, well, that's going to happen and it's going to be rebuilt. No, we have to take what he's saying and spread it out over 2,000 years instead of trying to think it all happens in my lifetime. And that's the problem with us. That's our narrow-mindedness. We have to understand that it fills the gamut. It's a long period of time. And I've been discussing that, and I hope you've been getting that in these teachings. So let's read this. But woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing babies in those days, for there will be great distress in the land. Notice he says in the land, and wrath upon this people. So it's directed. This is directed, and if Luke's account and Matthew's account is different than this, Matthew's account is broader, okay? This account is directed to the Jews of that time. That wrath upon this people, this land. This is going to happen to them. And it did, exactly as he said. And many left the city at that time. I hope you're truly blessed in this. Follow, like, pass this around. Get people to understand what the scriptures are really talking about. God bless. Bye-bye.